Hello everybody, good afternoon. So today is the second day of teaching by His Holiness Dalai Lama. The topic is Peace of Dependent Origination and Tibetan language. The text name was Tendel Topa. It's a short words. The complete one, I think we better to say, preach to the Buddha Shakyamuni based on teaching dependent origination. Short form, Tendel Toba, the long form, the long sentence, the complete one, preach to the Buddha Shakyamuni based on teaching on dependent origination. Again, everybody must feels, we are very lucky to able to attend teaching from His Holiness Dalai Lama and also able to see him through Zoom. If you have a pure, very strong, pure belief and faith towards him, doesn't matter how you can see him. See in Dharamsala, seeing by Zoom, seeing by Facebook, still you should consider, today I saw him. Today I received teaching from him. Therefore, at the beginning, everybody rejoice yourself and to rejoice other people who attend the teaching. Then at the beginning, His Holiness started the teaching, introducing the view and action or ethical discipline. The direct way we can say the view of Buddhism, the view from Buddhism, the action or ethic from Buddhism. As a Buddhist, we always need to believe our view is dependent originations or dependent arisingly as dependent arisingly. So the view, the dependent origination is one of the very important key to explain Buddhism, very important key to believe in liberation, Buddhahood, everything, explained, introduced, based on dependent origination. Second, what is our action in our daily life, how we should act, action, ethic, action. So we must act non-violently, free from violence. So whatever we act, we must act with a non-violence. So what is the connection between the view which is dependent origination and non-violence? Everything around us can't being to exist. Everything around us able to exist because of dependent origination. Everything depends on something. Second, our happiness must have a cause. The cause must depend on the positive actions, not the negative action. Our suffering has a cause and condition. The cause and condition must be violence. So when you have a non-violence action, then you can be happy. You can make other people, other sentient beings happy. If you act violently, it makes you unhappy. It led you in suffering. Also, the violence action bring a lot of sufferings, unhappiness for others. Therefore, the action, the non-violence, we must practice, because everything exists dependently. Then the view, the dependent origination. His Holiness said, we can apply in every fields. Happiness arises from dependent origination. Suffering, healthy life, unhealthy life, rich, poor, everything we have come being to exist because of dependent origination. And also, when we know the dependent origination, if we really understood the meaning of dependent origination, that means our happiness also we can achieve depend on the positive conditions. The more you understand the dependent origination, the more you are able to control our negative thoughts. Then we can have more inner peace, the relaxed mind. The inner peace, the relaxed mind, the happy mind is important to have healthy body. Therefore, everybody, whether you are old, young, no matter where we live, everybody always wish to be happy. We always searching happiness. In order to achieve happiness, in order to be happy, we need to pay attention to the proper, the right causes and conditions which is give rise the happiness. Here what we learn, what we need to believe as a Buddhist. In order to reduce suffering, it's okay, we can do a lot of religious activities, the religious culture, like recitation, chanting, prostration, making donation, working for as a charity work. But those are the secondary cause to have a inner peace, to be happy. The main important cause, we need to practice compassion, that reduce anger, hatred. Then we can achieve happiness. We can be happy. The happiness, which is we searching for many years, the happiness must come from within the transformation. Transform your mind. The happiness which is we are looking, it cannot come from mainly the external conditions. Then second, what happened after Buddha fully be enlightened being? For the 49 days, Buddha Shakyamuni, he didn't give any teachings. He just remained silently. He didn't talk to anybody. Then somebody requests to him to give a teaching. Then he said, the teaching which is I found is look like nectar. Traditionally, when you drink nectar, it help you to free from all kinds of sickness. He said, I found the teaching which is look like nectar. But the teaching which is look like nectar, if I teach, nobody going to understand, because the teaching is profound and peace, the first part. Second, the teaching which is I know, it is free from elaboration. Second part. The third part one, the teaching which is I found, I discovered, it is very clear and non-conditioned phenomena. So at the beginning, the first two sentences, profound and peace. The second part is free from elaboration. The third part is clear and non-conditioned. These three parts, His Holiness link with the the wheel of dharmas. The profound and peace linked with the first wheel of dharma, mainly the Four Noble Truths. The second, free from elaboration, is linked with the second wheel of dharma, which is the teaching explained about emptiness, the Prajna Paramita teaching. The third, clear and non-conditioned, is linked with the third wheel of dharma. And third wheel of dharma, actually when you reflect about the three wheel of dharmas, the teaching, all the teaching, even though Buddha gave a teaching before he took into parinirvana, the teaching introduced one of the Four Noble Truths, and the teaching include into the first wheel of dharma. The three wheel of dharma is not referred to the time, it referred to the contents. The teaching which is introduced Four Noble Truths and close to the Four Noble Truths, the teaching is included into first wheel of dharma. The second wheel of dharma is mainly emphasized teaching about emptiness. Therefore, wherever Buddha Shakyamuni gave a teaching about emptiness, any kinds of teaching give a emptiness, those teaching include into second wheel of dharma. And the teaching, particularly the great differentiation, include all the Tantrayana teachings, include into the third wheel of Dharma. Therefore, the teaching which is explained, the Vajrayana path, include into third wheel of Dharma. The three wheel of Dharma is not referred to the timings, it refers to the contents. Otherwise, many people think, okay, first wheel of Dharma, second wheel of Dharma. Since he started to teach emptiness, then many people think he didn't give the first wheel of Dharma again and again. Then related to the third wheel of Dharma, clear and non-condition. So this is, I think, very important to know. The second wheel of Dharma, Buddha Shakyamuni teach emptiness. All phenomena, their nature, their reality is emptiness, empty of inherent existence. Here I will give you very short explanation how we know, how we understood the emptiness. Many people think emptiness means nothingness. There's nothing exists, everything is empty. This is totally wrong understanding. Second, again, when we think about emptiness, many people think empty means something is empty, empty of the water. The cup is empty of water. No, the emptiness is not referred to something exists, the thing not within the phenomena. No. Third, also empty of the, devoid or empty of the cup. Mean the land, there's no any cups. We can say the land is empty of cup. The land is there, the cup is not exist there. No, the meaning of emptiness is not referred to the nothingness, not look like empty of, empty water of the cup empty of water. No. The third, the land is empty of cup. No. When you think about emptiness of the cup, emptiness of the person, emptiness of the phenomena, the thing, the person, the phenomena not exist, not established as a independent phenomena, inherent phenomena. So during the second wheel of Dharma, so Buddha Shakyamuni explained emptiness, which is we named as object clear light. Object clear light. When we say, oh, the house is completely lighting, luminous, what we understood, there's no any piece of darkness. The house is completely lighting, completely illumination, mean there's no any darkness. Same thing, the emptiness, we say clear light, object clear light. When you really realize emptiness, within the empty nature, there's no any kind of conventional phenomena you can see within the emptiness. The luminous place, you cannot see any darkness. When you perceive emptiness, the mind which perceives emptiness, the mind cannot seize any conventional phenomena. Within the mind, there's no any elaborate thoughts. We call subject, clear light. So the object. Second, during the third week of Dharma, then Buddha Shakyamuni mainly introduced to the disciples the subject, clear light mind. So in order to know the subject, clear light mind or clear light mind, then again, we need to know the procedure of the death. So just before we go to next life, that time, that moment, there was a mind is completely free from any kinds of negative thoughts. It's a very subtle, free from all kinds of negative thoughts. This is what we call subject, clear light mind. It's a very subtle, without practicing Tantrayana teaching, the clear light mind arises only few occasions. Also only arises from very short moment. Therefore, in order to utilize the clear light mind, then we need to practice, the procedure of the death. Then through the procedure of the death, then we will need to recognize the clear light mind. Or through the Vajrayana practice, then you can able to recognize the subject clear light mind. And also why it is so important to know the subject clear light mind or clear light mind. The subtle mind, one of the subtlest mind or the clear light mind is the basis, the main kind of, thing, base to arise sufferings, to arise happiness, to arise all the negative thoughts. Slowly the whole samsara, include our body, also arise from the clear light mind. Everything dissolved into clear light mind. If you're able to recognize, if you're able to utilize the clear light mind, you are on the way to the path. You're on the way to the path to the Buddhahood, liberation. If we don't recognize the clear light mind, if we're not able to utilize the clear light mind, then we are on the path to the samsara and sufferings. Therefore, in the Mahayana teaching, particularly Tantrayana teaching, they very much emphasize how to recognize the clear light mind, how to how to use the clear light mind into the path. Therefore, the clear light mind or the subtle mind or the subtle energy is the everything. Recognize, utilize it, it can be path. Cannot recognize, cannot utilize it, then we are in samsara. So this is a very important topic. Then, so mainly His Holiness explained, in the Buddha lifetime, he gave three kinds of teachings. First, the Four Noble Truths is a common teaching for the common people. Second, teaching about emptiness is not for everybody, not for, not teach commonly. He taught to the very advanced and selective disciple. particularly the Tantrayana teachings, he taught very few selective human beings who are very intelligent, who has the ability to understand the Tantrayana, to able to practice the Tantrayana. Then he taught the Tantrayana teaching that kind of disciples, that kind of students. Therefore, in many of you very interested to practice Vajrayana. It's nothing wrong. You is good. It is good. You have a very strong, aspiration, strong motivation to practice the higher Tantrayana. But before you think, I want to practice, you must think your ability. Do you have that ability? You are capable to practice higher Tantrayana or not? Also, many people think when they do, daily Yamantaka Sadhana, Guha Samaja, Vajra Yogini, like Purva, they think every day I practice Tantrayana. No. Every day you do the Tantrayana ritual, Tantrayana recitation. You are not doing any Tantrayana practice. So therefore, His Holiness very much emphasize, the clear-eyed mind, how to recognize, how to identify, how to apply. Then His Holiness give a long history, introduction about Tibetan Buddhism. Then also he explained why it is so important to study the epistemology, Tsema, epistemology, mainly studied by Digna Dharmakirti. Then also I think all of you hear the story how the Digna composed the teaching we here called Abhidharma Samayacha. Tibetan we call Wamba Gundu, the conclusion, the summary of the Abhidharma. Then today His Holiness give a different history, but he said, the Digna, first he composed the salutation to the Buddha Shakyamuni for composing the epistemology teaching text. Then he was thinking it can be beneficial or not. Then Manjushri said, you must continue your work. It can be very benefit for the future. This is what His Holiness, explained us today. There's another history, how Digna, complete the epistemology text, the summary of the Abhidharma. So first he wrote the salutation for composing the Abhidharma summary text. Morning and afternoon he usually goes to the village to get lunch and came back. Each time when he came back, someone just preached or destroyed his return. Then one day he wrote another sentence. If you want to challenge with me, if you want to do the debate, please wait for me. I will come back from village. If you does this thing just in order to harm me, please don't do it. The next day when he came back, one of the non-Buddhist scholars was waiting for him to debate. Then he debated many days. Finally, he became more strong his view become more strong. Then the non-Buddhist scholar get angry. Then he make a fire from his mouth, burn his, retreat place, almost all his belongings burn in fire. Then he got a bit angry to the scholar. Then he thought, I really cannot be compassion for one person, how I can continuously practice bodhicitta. He almost give up the practice of bodhicitta. Then he just, the sentence which he wrote on the stone, he just throw away. He decide not going to compose anymore. And cannot practice, bodhicitta. Then he throw the stone in the space. He closed his eyes. Then somehow the stone, really dropped on the ground. Then he was thinking, what happened? When he opened eyes, he saw Manjushri. Manjushri said, my son, don't do like that. You always can see the annoying, the bad habit person. Don't give up your practice of bodhicitta. Since today, I'll be your teacher. You must continue your work, the writing work. It can be very beneficial in the future. Therefore, in Tibet, in the many monasteries study Madhyamaka, include the epistemology, but many of some like lineage, some of the tradition like Nyingma, Kagyu, some masters said, no, we should not study epistemology. It's useless. It just increases your ego. It's not important. Then Lama Tsongkapa said, when you believe what Manjushri told to the Digna, Manjushri said is very useful, very important. Second, you are saying is not important text. There's a contradiction. This is a kind of story. Then we start, now we can start the actual text from the page number 9. Before 9, 8, we need to read the paragraph number 7. Okay, 7. Look in the page, the sentence number 7, stanza number 7 says, since this teaching is not since elsewhere, you alone are the teacher. Before Buddha Shakyamuni, there were so many Hindu master teachers and gurus, but none of them taught dependent origination. Therefore, it is not easy that time. That time in the part of India where Buddha Shakyamuni was born and grow up is completely dominated by Hinduism. And the Jainism. All Hindu believe into the Bhagavan, the creator. Everything around us is created by the God, the Bhagavan. They believe in creator and creation. And that moment, it is not easy to say, Buddha, nothing come from God, the Bhagavan. Everything come into exist because of depend on only causes and condition. It's not easy for him. So he introduced the dependent originations look like lines. When you see the forest, when the lion make a like roar, like voice, the lion never scare anybody. He just make a big voice. So it's become very unique teaching, like calling fox a lion or titika. So So Buddha taught very important, unique teaching, which is teaching about dependent origination. When you compare Buddha Shakyamuni and other teacher, be honest. Honestly, that time, if somebody compare the teaching about dependent origination, the teaching about everything created by gods, being honest, if they compare Buddha Shakyamuni and they thought Buddha Shakyamuni, he was look like a lion, very strong, have a very strong, solid view and reasonings. That moment, the teacher who teach, about God, the Bhagavan, those are look like named lion to the fox. It would be a wood of fealty. Then second, the 8th stanza is very important. Wondrous teacher. Buddha Shakyamuni, you are the wondrous teacher. He teach compassion. He taught love and compassion. Those are not unique teaching. All the Hindu masters taught compassion, love, tolerance, forgiveness, generosity, next life, previous life, karma. So teaching dependent origination is a very uniqueness. Therefore, wonder teacher, because you taught something else nobody taught before. Wonder teacher. Then wonder refuge. So he teach the dependent origination. Then the person who practice dependent origination, the person we realize emptiness, then the person can be saved from samsara. Therefore, you are the wanderer's refuge. The wanderer speaker. He taught dependent origination, not only just taught, he taught without any contradiction. He taught the dependent origination with a lot of reasonings, a lot of logics. Therefore, the wonder speaker, wonder savior. Then I pay homage to the teacher who taught well dependent origination. Is a number 8. Then number 9, to have held the sentient beings or benefactor, you have taught the fearless reason to ascertain emptiness, the heart of the teachings, heart of the teaching, or the essence of the teachings. So Buddha Shakyamuni taught emptiness with a sense of compassion. This is very important. We need to realize why Buddha, give a teaching. Why? He taught teaching in order to be more famous? No. Did he give a teaching in order to become more popular? No. Only with the one motivation, pure compassion to benefit all sentient beings. With a pure compassion to free all sentient beings from samsara. How he can be, he can free it because of emptiness. That means, he was looked like one of the most important doctor. Right now, this day, we have the COVID-19 problems all over the world. None of the doctor, none of the scientists can, really eliminate the COVID-19. Certainly, one doctor come, he gave one medicine, to benefit all sentient beings, all human beings. Then we consider, wow, you are the best doctor. Therefore, the emptiness, the dependent origination is the one, the most important, only one medicine to free all sentient beings from suffering because free from the ignorance. Therefore, emptiness is the heart of the teaching, essence of the teaching. There's a there's a different explanation. What does mean heart of the teaching? What does mean essence of the teaching? Then paragraph number 10. The way of dependent origination, those who perceive it as contradictory or unestablished. I think it is a bit difficult to understand for everybody. Let's say Buddha explained dependent origination. We try to understand the meaning of dependent origination. That means everything, things around us arises from causes and condition, arises dependently, right? Then, so the below the consequences schools, particularly first two school and Chitta Mantra's fourth school, they say, no. They say, no, it is contradiction. Once you said everything arises from deep causes and condition, second, in other hand, you said it's emptiness, it's contradictory. If things arise from causes and condition, the causes and condition must be inherent existent. It cannot be emptiness. Therefore, the way of dependent origination, those who perceive, those who look like quite understood, for them, contradictory. What contradictory mean? Belief in dependent origination, except emptiness is contradict for them. Clear? For Chitta Mantra, all the conditioned phenomena, the nature is not empty of inherent existence, because all conditioned phenomena arise from causes and condition. For them, contradictory, except dependent origination, and accepting emptiness is contradiction. Second, a non-Buddhist. Non-Buddhist cannot accept everything arises from arising from causes and condition. They cannot fully accept dependent origination. For them, they cannot really establish emptiness because they cannot establish dependent origination. Below the Madhyamaka, below the consequences school, proponent, they cannot really accept emptiness, when they accept dependent origination. Accepting dependent origination, belief in emptiness is contradictory. Therefore, is the meaning of the sentence number 10. Sentence number 11, for you, when one sees emptiness in terms of the meaning of dependent origination, then being devoid of intrinsic existence and possessing valid function do not contradict. This is another very important view in the Madhyamaka school, in the Nagarjuna's tradition. For you, when you see emptiness, how we can see emptiness, how we can understand emptiness. You can see emptiness, you can understand emptiness in terms of meaning of the dependent origination. When you really understood the dependent origination, then you will see emptiness. So therefore, we have to understood emptiness in terms of dependent origination. Emptiness is not the meaning nothingness. In terms of meaning of dependent origination. Then what happened? Then being devoid from intrinsic existence. So when you understood emptiness, in terms of dependent origination, then you fully understood the devoid of intrinsic existence. Not just you understood the devoid of intrinsic existence, then you can establish, possessing valid function do not contradict. Here again, below the Madhyamaka, below the consequences of good, they always see contradiction. If everything empty of inherent existence, there cannot be any functioning phenomena. If there's a functioning phenomena, then the functioning phenomena cannot be empty of inherent existence. As a Madhyamaka proponent, as a follower of the like Madhyamaka school, you need to establish, you need to understand all phenomena empty of inherent existence in one hand. In the other hand, you must know all phenomena can be function very well. Function very well, but nature is emptiness. The nature is emptiness, functioning very well. There's no contradiction. When you see there's a contradiction, when you establish emptiness, you cannot establish the functioning phenomena. Phenomena function well, then you don't understand emptiness. When you establish, the functioning phenomena or conventional phenomena, if you're not able to establish emptiness, that means you don't understand the conventional phenomena. You don't understand, all the phenomena has a, function. Therefore, look at possessing valid function do not contradict. So you need to understand, you need to learn there's no contradiction to believe, in emptiness, believe in, valid functions. There's a valid function. Look, for example, fire can cook food. Fire can burn woods. Water can, fill the thirsty. Sun can heat the things. Those are the valid functions. The valid functions. Therefore, when you think about the valid function, for you difficult to accept emptiness. When you accept emptiness, for you so difficult to accept in the valid function. So we need to learn there's no contradiction. Number 12. Whereas when one see the opposite is so when you understand the sentence number 11, then you will see you understood the opposite. Opposite means if there's a valid functions, there must be inherent existence. According to Madhyamaka, if there's a valid functioning phenomena, there must be emptiness. If you think it's opposite, if there's the valid functioning phenomena, the valid phenomena is there. If you cannot accept emptiness, this means it's opposite. When one sees the opposite, since there can be no function in emptiness, when you accept emptiness, you not able to accept functioning. When you accept functioning phenomena, you cannot accept emptiness. Therefore, look at if you are opposite, since there can be no function in emptiness, no emptiness in what has function, one falls into the therefore abyss you maintain. So therefore, look at, we have to read all the sentence very precisely. You need to think. No emptiness in what has function, right? So you should not think the opposite way. Number 13, therefore in your teachings, saying dependent origination is held, the true, not as a utter non-existent, known intrinsic existence. So dependent origination, able to accept, because not, non-existent. Things are exist based on existing, then you're able to accept dependent originations. Also, we need to understand, the dependent originations, because not unintrinsic existence. We are able to establish that, dependent origination because the non-intrinsic existence. Number 14, the non-contingent. Okay, contingent, non-contingent. Mean things exist dependently is a contingent. Thing exists not dependently is a non-contingent. Therefore, everything exists, coming to exist, everything's in a function because of the dependent origination. Therefore, there's no non-contingent. The non-contingent phenomena is like a sky flower. So this, I think, very in Indian culture. We always say, oh, you should not put effort to achieve something because you are, you wish to achieve something. It look like sky flower. It not exist. It does no more exist. Hence, there's a nothing that is not dependent, right? Therefore, there's a non-contingent, is like a sky flower. Hence, there's a nothing that is not dependent. Everything is dependent. If things exist through this essence, their dependence on causes and condition, for their existence is a condition. Simply what you need to learn in your mind, everything is dependent. Nothing, there's a not independent. It's a number 14. Then, if things exist, first you need to learn in your mind, there's a nothing that is not independent, mean everything is dependent. If there's a something not dependent, then if things exist through their essence. Essence means you need to know, commonly we can say, oh, the food has an essence. Something has an essence. We are not talking about the essence in the commonly. Essence means, again, look at, what is this? This is a phone. So when you open the cover, part by part, you really cannot see, oh, this must be a phone. This is a screen, this is behind, this. When you open, dismantle the phone, piece by piece, there's not such as, kind of heart, such as essence, such as one thing, one single piece, we can say this is phone. Therefore, this phone exists, but not exists essentially. It doesn't have an essence to say this is phone. Second, like a human, everybody, we are human being. We are human. When you, do analytical kind of study, analyze where you are in your head, you are like a cheek, your mouth, shoulder. When you search, analyze parts by parts, again, you cannot see, oh, this is the most part, we can say human. Therefore, there's no essence. Nothing, can exist from their essence. If things exist through their essence, then what happened? They are dependent on cause and condition for the existence contradict. In a one hand, in a way we can say, somebody say, things exist through their essence. And in another way, there's a contradict, dependent on causes and condition. Believing in depending on causes and condition, believe in, exist through the essence is contradiction. If things exist through their essence, their dependence on causes and condition for their existence is contradictions. Also look at a simple way we can think. When I go for a walk, let's say when I need to get up, I need a walking stick, right? Somebody say, oh, I need a walking stick, go for a walk. That means the person cannot walk, cannot get up without depending on stick, without depending on something. That means that the person cannot independently get up. The person cannot, independently go for a walk, because the person needs to depend on something for get up or walk. Therefore, in a hand, it say, thing exists through their essence. Other hand, say thing, depend on causes condition is contradiction. Therefore, once you believe, things arise or exist from causes condition, you need to negate, you need to deny the essential existence. Once you believe into the essential existence, then you need to depend on causes and condition. So here, I will add one few things. In order to understand dependent origination, emptiness, you really cannot go, directly to emptiness, dependent origination. Let's say, since today, everybody grow, like a something, flower, or you can grow like a small sprout in your home. What you need, definitely you need a seeds. You need you need to buy the small sprout. If you just put the seeds in the empty cup or empty container, just only seeds, you can see you cannot grow anymore. You cannot grow the sprout. Then you realize, oh, I need a soil. Then you have a seeds, you have a soil. If only seeds and soil, you really cannot, grow the sprout. You need the moisture. You need to watering. You need to put water. If you have only seeds, soil, water, no sunlight, no heat, particular sunlight, you can see the sprout grow very small, it cannot develop furthermore. Then you bring the small support in sun, then you can see it grow much better. If there's no air around the sprout, also you can see the sprout cannot grow well. Therefore, in order to grow wellly, healthy way, is seeds, soil, water, sunlight or heat, moisture, and air. You have everything. You have a seeds, water, soil, air, sunlight, but if there's no space, how you can grow things? First, you need to learn how thing is really growing, the external things growing. Then second, you just same idea, same experience you need to apply within your inner world. When you feel happy, you must check the happiness come from where? The happiness not given by God. The happiness which you have not really given by Buddha. There must be the complete causes and condition. Therefore, I feel happy. I have a happiness. Why I feel, unhappy, upset, sufferings. The upset, the unhappiness, sufferings must have a very complete causes and condition. Then you notice the external phenomena arise, exist with a very complete cause and condition. The inner world, consciousness, compassion, tolerance, anger, ignorance, everything arises from very complete cause condition. When you really have a very strong conviction, things needs cause and condition, then there's nothing can just arise without cause and condition. Then you will learn all phenomena empty of essentially existent, empty of independent existence, empty of inherent existence. Then your understanding going closer to emptiness. Therefore, you need to think contradiction. 16, because intrinsic nature cannot be negated. If you believe things exist through their essence, then you believe independent existence. You believe inherent existence. You believe selfly existent. Then you cannot negate. Therefore, because intrinsic nature cannot be negated, because you have a strong belief into the intrinsic nature, essential existence, inherent existence, then what happened? Then if you are not able to negate the negation, because intrinsic nature cannot be negated, then if phenomena possess some intrinsic nature, I think this sentence we can go this way. First, we recite the second sentence, second line. If phenomena possess some intrinsic nature, then because of it, you cannot negate the intrinsic nature. Right? First, you think about the second line, then first line, then you cannot be negated. Then what's the problem? What's the problem if I'm not able to negate the negation? Then nirvana would become impossible. And elaboration could not be ceased. Right? So look, we believe in nirvana, we believe in Buddhahood. The most important, we need to realize emptiness, empty of intrinsic nature. In a hand, you believe in nirvana and Buddhahood. In the other hand, you believe in intrinsic nature. Is a contradiction. Look like somebody want to be very healthy. Drinking a lot of alcohol is contradict. We believe, I need inner peace. I want to be happy all the time. If you are always angry with phenomena, angry with your friends, angry with your family, how you can be happy? There's a contradiction. Wish to have a happiness, getting angry is contradiction. Wish to be happy, having strong attachment, also, yes, there's a contradiction. Therefore, you always must need there's no contradiction. Okay, therefore, who could challenge you? You who proclaim with lions roar. In the assembly of the learned one, respect repeatedly that everything is utterly free from the intrinsic natures. Therefore, teaching, introducing dependent origination is look like, the lions roar. In the assembly of the Buddhists or non-Buddhists, that time. Not only one, repeatedly. Therefore, there's one sentence, whatever you taught dependent origination. Second, whatever you taught for realizing dependent originations. Therefore, giving teaching look like lions roar. In this assembly of learned ones repeatedly, that everything utterly free from intrinsic natures. So when you understand dependent origination, that you are man free from the two extremes, and extreme of nihilations, extreme of absolutisms. Clear? So this one we can talk later. I think we still have a time. Then number 18, that there's no intrinsic existence at all. I think around here this explains something. Super. This Churgu. Oh yeah, actually 19. Verse 18, that there's no intrinsic existence at all, and that all function as or all things arising. How functions arise independent on. What need is there to say that this true convention without conflicts. That means dependent origination also fully functioning is one side. Second, empty of no intrinsic existence and dependent origination. Between these two, there's no contradiction. There's no intrinsic existence. All phenomena has their unique functioning. Between these two, there's no contradiction. Number 19, it is through the reason of dependent origination that one doesn't learn thoughts on extremes, that you have declared these excellent reasonings. That means one who understood the dependent origination through reason, that one does not learn on thoughts extremes. So we need to learn through dependent origination, through reasoning. When you understood dependent origination, then you're not going to you're not going to fall into the two extremes. Extreme of nihilations, extreme of absolutism. So here, very unique view from the consequences, Pasangika school. Generally, when we see something, that we say, yeah, this exists because I saw. When you perceive something, when you perceive something, then you need to accept that thing exists. That means that moment your mind is free from nihilation. Clear? When you perceive the phenomena, then you need to accept the phenomena is existent phenomena. When you accept the phenomena is exist, then you need to accept the phenomena is not non-existent. That means your mind free from the nihilation. Perceiving, seeing, knowing. When you see, perceive things, the things exist. Then the thing is not non-existent. Then your mind free from the nihilation. Second, when you understood selflessness, emptiness, that means nothing exists independently, then you are free from the absolutism. This is the general view. According to the Pasangika school, the appearance, when you really know something, perceived something, you perceive or you saw something, actually is when you perceive something, then you have to say, yeah, the things exist. How the things exist dependently. So perceiving something, understand something, then your mind is actually, according to Pasangika, your mind is free from absolutism. When you perceive selflessness, emptiness, then your mind is free from nihilation. So this is a very unique, understanding according to the Pasangika proponent. In order to free your mind from the two extremes, there's a two things, perceiving something, knowing something, then your mind is free from absolutism. Once you perceive selflessness, emptiness, then your mind is free from the nihilism, not the absolutism. So this, I think, we need to discuss more in the future. Then another important is here, I think, I cannot remember the Tibetan master who composed the song of recognition mother. Do you know the name? Tsongkapa Rinpoche. One of the, Tibetan monk, he composed a text about emptiness. The text name is Song of Recognition or Recognition of the Mother. The text is you can find in this book. Very important teaching about emptiness. Then what His Holiness says this morning, based on the teaching, without knowing the main important point about negation, without knowing the important point of negation, still you try to realize emptiness, then the emptiness of the mother going to run away from you. You cannot really understand emptiness. Without knowing the most important point of negation. Okay, negation. Therefore, in order to realize emptiness, first you need to identify negation. Then you need to know the degree or the what actual meaning of negation. Then third, you need to negate the negation. Therefore, without really knowing the exact point, exact meaning of negation, for example, inherent existence, independent existence. If you really don't understand the meaning, still you try to negate the negation, then there's no way you can understand emptiness. The emptiness look like, mother. No, grandmother. Grandmother means emptiness is always with us. Emptiness of our body, emptiness of our mind, emptiness of our, like a daily life is always with us. For many years, look our grandma, but we don't recognize it because we are not able to understand the negation. Still we try to negate the negation, then you don't understand emptiness. Why he said here, for example, we say this is everybody commonly will say this is a phone. So when we negate the, independent phone, essential phone, we are thinking something there we must negate. But we always think this thing exists, this thing is always there as we perceived. We believe this thing is always there as we perceive, as we believe. Still we try to negate the negation, means it's been lost the point. We lost the point. But very difficult to say this is no phone. For us, this is a phone. Actually, this is no phone. This is not phone. This is the basis, parts of the phones. On this basis, we name, we label a phone. Phone is just exists only designation. Therefore, when we think we need to negate the negation, somehow you need to think I must negate this as a phone. Therefore, if you have a time, I think the teaching is here. You must read. Then there's in previous, also during the stanza number 9, His also, explained, also last time when he gave a teaching about intellectual middle way, he also explained the meaning. I hope you still remember. Body and the sense of body. Our body and sense of our body. When you touch your air, you can feel it. The hand is touching because the physical sensation is, spread or pervasive around air. Somebody touch your head, you can feel it. Somebody touching. That means the physical sensation, the physical sense is pervasive all parts of body. This is the analogy. Second, all the afflictive emotions, all the afflictive minds are look like body, our body. Our body is completely pervasive by the body sense. Then all the afflictive emotion actually arise within the ignorance. So anger arises, the ignorance is always there. Ego arises, ignorance is always there. Look like body and body sense always together. Therefore, if you wish to eliminate or destroy afflictive emotion, then you need to destroy the ignorance. Once you destroy ignorance, all the afflictive emotion going to be destroyed. How we can destroy the ignorance? Then so Nagarjuna says, you must realize dependent origination. Second, once you understand dependent origination, you will understand emptiness. Once you understand emptiness, through practice of emptiness, all the elaborations, all the afflictive emotion, include ignorance, going to be destroyed. That means, practice emptiness, you can destroy all the afflictive emotions. Meaning number one. Number two, when you eliminate, when you cease all the ignorance, afflictive emotion, everything cease within the emptiness. Cease by emptiness, cease within the emptiness. First, showing the meaning of the path. Second, showing the meaning of the cessations. So those are very important. Then the question answer, I don't think I need to review, so we don't have times. So we can go just directly question and answer. Right? Okay, let's start question answer. I hope all of you know somebody asked question. Question number one. Right now, everywhere, there are so many competition in your workplace, within your friends, within your family. Oh, my brother owns a lot of money. I must own. Oh, my father has a expensive car. I must own. Therefore, somebody asked, this day, all over the world, there are so many competitions. Due to the competition, injustice, violence is always there. So how we can apply, how we can have a justice and non-violence? His Holiness said, it's very important, it's good to have a competition, a healthy competition. Your friend has a high position, you must think, oh, I really appreciate. My friend has a high position. I also want a high position to benefit many people, benefit my family. You're not really competing your friends. So the competition should not be you win, other loss. You must have a competition in every field in order to benefit others. Sense of compassion, you can have a competition. If you have a competition, sense of hatred is no good. Then another is very common, second question somebody asked, when we do a lot of good things, many people make you very discouraged, right? I think all of you have an experience. Sometimes you do some good thing in the society, or somebody say nonsense thing about you. Somebody criticize your actions. Somebody could criticize your motivations. Somebody really annoying about your actions. Then you feel very discouraged. Then how we overcome from the discourage? Then very important advice. Of course, always His Holiness give a very important question. Then His Holiness said, you must analyze. you must analyze. You have been doing something in your society. Somebody criticizes about you, about your action. You must think the criticism is right or just baseless. If the criticism is right, you must change. Should not be discouraged. You must change. Try to be better. Somebody criticizes, the criticism is come from baseless. It's totally baseless. You don't have to be discouraged. Therefore, when somebody discourages you, you always analyze. Otherwise, many people, somebody really is not really criticizing. Then somebody let us know the way of your doing, the way of your thinking is not good. Somebody really teaching us yes, something is inappropriate, and we thought, oh, the person is criticizing me. That's why we become very discouraged. And question number 3. Sometimes somebody, really bully you, over bully you too much. The bully is so strong. What should I do? We just accept the bully, or I must respond. Is also, I think everybody have experience, particularly, when you work in the office. You always put a lot of effort. You always try your best. The boss always bully you. You always do your best. Your co-workers bully you, criticize you. Then how we must practice patience? Should I respond or not? He says, even though the Bodhisattva who practice bodhicitta, somebody, criticize, is it cause to decline your practice, you must respond. You must speak out with a sense of compassion, with a sense of love, no sense of hatred. Then question number 4 is a very common, for everywhere. The people who are rich become rich, very strong ego. Then the person always look down who are poor than themselves. When you have become very educated, your education is really going, higher, then you always look down, strong ego, look down someone who are not like you. So how we should, do? Then His Holiness says, we must separate ego and your confidence. Ego and confidence. We must have a confidence, our knowledge, our experience, our wealth. That means the confidence comes with the reasonings, with the solid foundations. Ego is a kind of mainly baseless. For example, you have only few $1,000, then you thought, oh, I'm the richest person among my friends. This is ego. It's a wrong, concept. Therefore, His Holiness said, we should not have any ego. We must have a confidence. Ego always bring you down. Then question number 5. What is the happiness of human being? What is the human being happiness? What kind of happiness we are looking? We always say, when you benefit other, you can be happy, how we can be happy. Then is as usual. There's two kinds of happiness: the physical happiness, mental happiness. We always try to achieve the mental happiness. The mental happiness can come when you reduce attachment, anger, ego. Particularly the inner happiness, the mental happiness come when you reduce self-centered attitude. Then he quoted many quotations from different texts. The last question is, I think, based on Tibetan society. And the last question, the girl asked, what is the differences between ethic based on religion and secular ethic, secular and non-secular ethics? What are the differences? What is the differences between, what are the difference ethic between secular and non-secular ethics? Then His Holiness said, it depends only the reasoning. I have to be a very ethical person. I have to be very honest. I have to be very compassionate. I should not be violent person because I follow Buddha Shakyamuni teaching. Buddha Shakyamuni said, you should not do this. We use the Dharma, religion as a reason for be ethical person. This was, who follow the religion. Second, the secular ethic. Still, whether you believe in religion or not, whether you follow, different tradition or not, still you have to be an ethical person. Then, in order to follow the ethic, because you are not follow religion, then you have to use the reason, if I'm very ethical person, nobody trusts me, nobody believe me, then I can have a lot of problems and sufferings. If I'm always angry, my family not happy with me. If I'm always angry person, my partner never be happy with me. My worker not happy with me. Therefore, I should not be angry because angry is very bad. It gives me a lot of bad consequences. So who follow religion, they can use the religion as a reason for be ethical person. The person who don't follow religion, they can use, I depend on so many things. If I become very unethical, I can be very unhappy. So this is the last questions.
Okay. Good afternoon, Geshe-la. And thank you for the guidance this afternoon. I have a request here. We know that the process of negation is important for us to understand emptiness. Kindly please help to provide one or two examples on how to do negation properly.
Yes. Negation, let's say, doing operation. The doctor, before he or she start the operation, the doctor must recognize the illness. Let's say somebody has a heart problem. The doctor must know the heart problem is where. When he remove through operation, when he remove the tumor, he must know which is really tumor. When you open your heart, there are so many, kinds of things in heart. So in order to do the heart operation, in order to remove the tumor in heart or brain, the doctor first must know it is really tumor or not. Second, when he remove the tumor, he have to be very careful, make sure he only remove the tumor, otherwise he remove in other parts of brain, then the person can be paralyzed. Same thing, In order to realize emptiness, first we need to know which one we should negate, one we should deny. Let's say emptiness of the cup. Conventionally, generally, we must accept there's a cup. There's no any argument, this is cup or not, there's a cup or not. Commonly, everybody accepts there's a cup. Second, so there's another nature of the cup, which is emptiness of the cup. In order to realize emptiness of the cup, we must know how to negate the negation. When we negate the negation, we should not negate the cup. When you remove the tumor in your brain, you must only remove the tumor, not any parts of brain cells. If you remove the brain cell, you can really the person can be paralyzed. When you negate the negation at that time, if you don't know really the negation, then you will deny the cup. Then you have to deny everything. Then you fall into nihilation. Therefore, it's not easy to say cup exists, inherent cup is not existent. So this one, if you really want to go through step by step, please read the chapter 6 in the Great Lamrim. I know when you read, it's quite become very discouraged because a lot of like pages. Somehow you need to put effort to complete the chapter 6 about the wisdom chapter and emptiness. Also identify the negation, then negate the negation through the 9 or 7 reasons or reasonings. So this one I really cannot finish within short time. First, I told you the analogy, brain as the object of the phenomena, conventional phenomena as a brain. The tumor look like negation, you need to negate. So when you remove the tumor, make sure you should not remove any parts of the brain cells or nerves, should not cut any nerves. So when you negate the negation, you should not deny the cup. In a hand, you possess the cup. Other hand, you need to the negation. So this I answer for you, but it cannot finish within short time. That's why Buddha said it's a very profound, vast and profound. Next question, please.
Okay, Shalom. Next question is from Tanya. Tanya, yeah.
Thanks, Geshe-la, for going through. I don't think you can answer this quickly, and I think I might not have enough knowledge anyway, but I'm confused about the Svatantrika's views because I don't understand what their tenets are. So I'm not sure what their object of negation is. I mean, I don't think you can explain this to me as a beginner quickly, but I'm just wondering what their object of negation is.
You are talking about between Tsongkapa and the Pasangika, are you?
Yes.
Okay, very good question. Therefore, in Tibetan language, we say, can you speak Tibetan?
No, I can't. It might be easier if I could.
The Pasangika and Sutantika both commonly agree nothing exists independently. But Sutantika said things are not exist independently, inherently, but essentially. Essentially. Clear?
Yep.
What does mean essentially? That means now I use again the phone, because phone is always with us, right?
Yep.
According to the Pasangika, when they posit the phone, they don't need anything from the object side. Object side. There's a thing. I'm not saying phone, okay? There's a thing. There's a thing. Then somebody named as a phone, cell phone, due to different reason. Clear?
Yep.
According to Sutantika, when they establish this thing as a phone, they establish this thing with a combination of two things. From object side, we give a name as a phone. From the subject side, we just give a name. We name as a phone. It is not just enough to name as a phone. This thing from this phenomena side must have one uniqueness. For example, this is phone, this is pen. Why we name this one as a phone? Why we cannot name this is as a phone? Both is conditioned phenomena, both is exist. According to Sutantika, this we can label, name as a phone, because from this object side has a one uniqueness to be a phone. It cannot be established as a phone because from this side there's nothing, not any uniqueness to be a phone. They are looking some uniqueness from the object side. Therefore, essentially existent. So Tibetan we call Rangi Senyiki Tuba. Emptiness of the independent existent, but not emptiness of the essence, essentially existent. So I give you the analogy. This can be possessed as a phone. This cannot be possessed as a phone because it doesn't have a uniqueness to be a phone. It has a uniqueness. One of the essence or uniqueness to be a phone. Quite clear?
It's clear.
Okay, so
I just find it very confusing to understand. It seems like saying that it doesn't exist intrinsically, but yet it does exist intrinsically.
It is not only you. I think when we study in the tenets, the essentially existent and independent existent is so difficult to understand the term. Then I noticed because when they translate from Sanskrit has a different term. When the term translates into Tibetan, for us look like similar, independently existent, essential existence. For us similar. In the Sanskrit language, there's a big difference, I think. Okay?
Yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Next question, please.
The next question comes from Anjali Ang. Her question is this: I am thinking that the view of non-existence is an error because it is a conceptual elaboration rather than because something exists. Is this the case?
Why do you think that way? We don't accept the non-existent. Everything, all phenomena exists. There's not such a thing, we can say non-existent, like a sky flower, the rabbit horns, and the frogs here. Those things are non-existent. I really don't understand your question. So this question you can repeat on next Sunday. So then we can discuss. For a moment, I really don't understand your question. I'm so sorry. Next question, please.
Kishila, Pek Yok is asking regarding the on which page the blaze of non-dual bodhicitta is. So I'm not sure exactly what is this non-dual bodhicitta.
Okay. It's very simple. Generally, when we say bodhicitta, is actual the bodhicitta, the mind has a strong wishing, strong like aspiration to be Buddha, to achieve Buddhahood, to benefit all sentient beings. This is the actual bodhicitta. Then non-dual bodhicitta, ultimate bodhicitta is the wisdom, the mind which is realized emptiness directly. This one, non-dual bodhicitta. In Tibetan, if you speak Tibetan, we call Tuntam Changchu Ki Sem. Second one, Kunzop Changchu Ki Sem. It is a conventional bodhicitta, ultimate bodhicitta. Generally, bodhicitta would only refer to the conventional bodhicitta. Sometimes we name the wisdom which realize emptiness, we name as a ultimate bodhicitta, non-dual bodhicitta. It's very simple. Next question, please. Then we can stop, right? It's 3.
Yeah. Okay. One more question from Tara. Essence of establishing. Is this in Lamrim Chenmo, volume 3 text, or which text?
Yes. Therefore, according to Gelugpa tradition, we say if you really need a profound, unmistaken view about emptiness, unmistaken understanding of emptiness, you need to read 5 books by Lama Tsongkapa. One is the commentary of the Middle Way. It's a huge book, maybe around 600-700 pages. Second is commentary on the Mulimaga Karika, Sashi Tsawasharap, Sashi Tikchen. Third, fourth, the wisdom chapter from the 2 Lambrims. The one is the what you call the Tangai Likshe Nimbo, essence of the golden something, right? There are 5 books. Yes, the volume 3 is explained very well. Yes, is volume 3. Volume 3. Okay, so we can stop here, right? Is there more question?
Yes, Vishwanath, there's question.
Okay, how many questions?
Kim, do you like to ask the question? I'll unmute you now.
Ishida, I want to check. Emptiness is always said to be a non-affirming negatives, and dependent arising is actually a affirming phenomenon.
Yes.
How does that, goes from one to the other, from affirming to non-affirming?
Yeah. I know what you mean. Affirming and non-affirming, we Tibetan call Gakpa, Trupa. So emptiness is the non-forming phenomena, right?
Yes.
And dependent origination is a formating phenomena. Before you think, asking this question, all of you, because you really need to know the meaning of these two, affirming and non-affirming, Gakpa and Trupa. According to Nagarjuna tradition, emptiness is always non-affirming affirming, right? Affirming
negatives.
Yeah.
That means it affirm nothing lah. Yeah, when it negates.
No. Because when you think based on the English words, there's a dangerous to have a lot of misunderstanding. In Tibetan, we say Gakpa, Tupa. Within the Gakpa, there are two, affirming and non-affirming. Here, what you need to understand, for instance, when you perceive emptiness, in your mind, only you can perceive emptiness, nothing else. Nothing else. No beauty, no ugly, no big, no small, nothing. Only the emptiness. Your main question is how come is it changing each other? No. Dependent origination is not the emptiness. Dependent origination we can use as a reason to establish emptiness. Emptiness is not dependent origination directly. Emptiness we can use in order to establish the dependent origination. Therefore, complementary each other. Yes, and therefore, dependent origination is not the non-affirmating phenomena. No. Therefore, it's synonymous. It doesn't mean they are the same. Yeah, this answer for you. Again, I think everybody the hearing about affirmating, non-affirmating is also not easy to understand the meaning. Next question, please.
Thank you.
Next question.
Wayne?
Yep. No more. I mean, from my end, there's none.
Oh,
Okay, and right?
yeah.
And I really appreciate all of you, and I really rejoice. All of you are very busy. Today is Saturday and Sunday, but still you have your own daily work to be done. Still you really attend the teaching. Still you attend the revision class. I rejoice and appreciate. But most important, everybody please read few times this textbook. His Holiness said this morning, this textbook His Holiness memorized within one morning. One morning he memorized this text while he was walking in the mountain and going to go to visit a monastery. So if you could, everybody, please memorize the foundation of all good qualities. It looks like a summary of Lamrim. Then the aspect of three principles. Also Lamrim, also important, like a text to understand emptiness. Then three, please, memorize the principle of dependent origination. I know you cannot really memorize, lot of text. These three things are very important. After you study Lamrim, all Lamrim meaning you can summarize into the foundation of all good qualities. After you study emptiness also, you can, condense into the three aspects of principles, also, the principle of dependent origination. So thank you so much, and I rejoice, and thank you.